Hello and welcome to Raw Impressions number 27. In this episode, Lou and Adele discuss the movie that Lou was in. He had a very, very small part. He appeared in maybe 3 or 4 scenes very briefly, but Lou has a lot to say about it.
The movie was Laurel Canyon.
The movie is Laurel Canyon, starring Frances McDormand, Christian Bale, and Kate Beckinsale, and fellow principal actor Louis Knox Barlow.
I was considered a principal actor, I'll have you know.
Oh, I do know. I've heard a lot about it. Okay, we rented the movie yesterday.
$4.99 high definition.
$3.99.
$3.99 high definition.
Yeah, on the Prime, on the Amazon Fire Stick thing, and we don't own the movie, but oh gosh, okay, I'm giggling because there's been a decade plus of lead up to seeing this movie for me. I've never seen it before. Lou is in the movie. We've been together for over a decade, and he's often shared stories about this movie and his experience filming Laurel Canyon.
It was an experience. It's not really reflected, and I don't show up in the movie very often, but I was there on the set,
yes.
Soaking it all in, soaking in the ambience, the buzz of activity that it takes to create a Hollywood movie. I was there.
You were there.
I was in the little shuttle van going from base camp. That's what they call it. Mm-hmm. Base camp was at Will Rogers Beach, outside of Santa Monica. And I would ride the little white van with like Christian Bale.
Wow. And
then also the stand-in actors. I got to find out there's a whole culture of people who are stand-in actors who stand in for the main characters. Mm-hmm. I heard the lingo. They call the movie a show. Mm-hmm. They refer to it as a show.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like movies, for instance, Kate Beckinsale had done Pearl Harbor.
She had already done it?
Yeah. And while I was in the makeup trailer with her, she referred to Pearl Harbor as a show. That show that I was working on.
The truth is that I was I'm not going to say I was let down, but I was a little bit disappointed that Lou is not as present visually in the movie as I was hoping for. And I don't even know if I heard you say a single line.
I did.
You did.
I said, up your Wellbutrin. You probably missed that. I almost missed it. I'll tell you what. I was relieved at how little I was in that movie because I have one scene where I walk across I walk across the scene, and the way I'm walking is so bizarre. And then it shows me drinking a fake beer, and the way that I put my mouth around I'm like, oh my God.
I loved it, you guys. I could not stop laughing. I was giggling and laughing and beside myself the whole time we were watching it. I was like so unbelievably giddy. I don't know why.
I was brought right back to how nervous I was during that, and my feet were sweating. They're actually sweating now, even speaking of the film, even though that I was sort of felt absolved of a lot of embarrassment by watching it yesterday and finding out that I was in so little of the movie.
I have to say, I was like, where are you? I've heard about this for so long. And now I keep looking for you. I had my phone ready to take video and picture at the ready. I was like, here I am. I just assumed you were the star. You're a star to me, but damn.
Let me explain it briefly for the people listening. My band at the time, The New Folk Implosion. Mm-hmm. I kept the Folk Implosion going and then just stuck New at the beginning of it.
And who was in that band?
Ahmad Wasif and Russ Pollard.
Okay.
Who were quite a bit younger than me. I think they both are They're a lot younger than me and a lot more handsome, and they show up in that movie quite a bit. They were good.
They do. They're in it more actually.
They were good because they look good. Russ was actually quite a good actor. He was
They gave him a kid even. They gave him like kid. In the movie. Yeah, I mean it was like
he was like kind of flirting with Kate Beckinsale on set. He seemed really like in his mode.
Ahmad looked cool.
Well, he always looks cool.
I mean, he always looks cool. If you don't know who he is, come on.
You'll put a picture of him in
We'll put a picture.
Yeah,
he's a good-looking guy. But he looked so badass in that movie. But Christian Bale is in it. Well, who's the lead singer of your band? He's not in your actual real band. He was the actor.
Alessandro Nivola.
Okay.
He's an actor originally from Boston.
Oh.
He is of Italian royalty,
I was going to say, it sounds like Italian royalty.
Yes.
I love that last name. It's so pretty.
Yes, and he is in real life married to Emily Mortimer,
who's also an actress.
Yeah, and I got to go to a party at his house after we finished filming it.
Is she English?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many English people on that movie.
All the English people are American.
In the movie,
and a lot of the American people, myself included, and my band, we were meant to be English. So they, the powers that be, wanted us to speak in English accents. And we even went to like a vocal coach.
Oh my God!
I had like a CD of the vocal coaching. I wanted desperately to find it so I could play it for you, but it pretty much consisted of the guy going, "I'd rather lava father."
I have to say, I'm gonna roast Laurel Canyon some of the things, and one of them is that was a terrible decision to make you guys be English. I mean, the accents were ridiculous.
I think they just think it seems more rock and roll.
It seemed unnecessary, too.
It seemed more rock and roll, but that was at the time. At that time, I think we were still in that kind of Blur, Oasis kind of thing that was going on. I like to think that there was no name for the band ever.
Right.
But I would like to think the name of the band, a good name would have been Radio Play. A combination of Radiohead and Coldplay.
Lou's character's name was Fripp.
Fripp.
Oh my God, I died, you guys. I just could not stop giggling anytime he came on screen, which was not enough. But I did love the fact that when you were on screen, you were typically sharing the screen with Frances McDormand, legendary actress. My God, she's the best. She's literally one of the best.
She was a really cool person too, and
yes.
I'm sure she still is. I see nothing stop her. She's going to be
I mean,
she's going to live forever and be nice forever.
I think that of all the celebrities and things that you've encountered in your life, people you've encountered, when you speak of her, she sounds like she was just so classy, so nice, so generous.
She was just like you think. She was just like you'd want her to be.
Yeah.
And she was so cool to us. She knew we were newbies, and she really made it easy for us and took an interest in us. And she actually bought Russ, Ahmad, and myself matching members-only jackets from a vintage store probably in Santa Monica.
That's so sweet.
And then we kind of hung out a little bit after we finished the movie, too. She came to my house. I went to her place, had some dinner, chatted.
That's really cool.
We went to her apartment and her and Joel Cohen's
so you got to meet Joel?
Yeah, I met Joel. He was really nice. We got to hold one of her Oscars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
She was cool.
Probably for Fargo.
Probably.
Man.
It was cool. It was cool. It was a really nice experience. I like to talk about it a lot because it was actually a very interesting experience to be brought into that world and to witness it, to be there. The acting part was agonizing, but the fly on the wall part and meeting Frances McDormand and then also all the people that worked on the movie were super cool, like rockers. They were all the guy that was the director of photography was and the super cool new wave band from DC, I think called 9543. I'm not sure. It was a succession of numbers. This guy Wally Pfister had the best name ever. Wally Pfister. Totally cool. all the old guys that were working the cameras and stuff were like so chill. So it was really nice to be a part of, to sort of be there and experiencing that. But when the camera came on, it was hell on earth for me.
Yeah.
And I really realized, like, I think in your mind you think, oh, I could act, but boy. When it actually, and then I actually really understood, and for the first time, I really understood that actors get that kind of money that they make for a very good reason. Because they have to be the center of attention of this whole constellation of people that surround them. Yeah. And these moments are so fraught with like detail and
there's so much relying on them to carry that moment, right? And time, money, lighting, and direction.
Doing that while inhabiting a character is like, that is supernatural ability stuff. So I talk about it so much. Not only because I like to drop Francis's McDormand's name as much as possible.
That's a great name drop, though, if you're going to have one.
But I really, I did enjoy being in that world. I mean, I didn't necessarily want to be there or go back to that world, but while it was happening.
You're grateful for that experience.
I'm grateful for it.
I feel I can totally relate in the sense that I didn't really know anything about how the film and TV industry worked before moving to Los Angeles. And I probably had a pretty dismissive idea, to be perfectly honest, when I was like growing up, living in the Twin Cities. And I kind of would just be like, sort of, I mean, I hate to say it, maybe even look down on some of those people. I don't know why, but I think it can feel kind of threatening to someone's ego when it's like film stars and TV stars can just threaten our everyday life. We're like, they're so much better than us. And I think it's just because they're put on some stage that we've decided this. But maybe I'm just speaking for myself. But I think
there's a lot of people that feel that way.
Yeah, right? I mean, and then when I moved out to LA, I unexpectedly was... I don't know if thrust is the right word, but I ended up working in the industry, and
you needed a job.
I needed a job.
You came out there as a grocery worker, but there was like a big strike.
There was a grocery store strike, and so this lady did not cross the picket line, and so I didn't know what the heck to do. Anyway, I can't remember if we talked about this on the podcast already.
No,
but,
never.
And this could definitely warrant its own episode or two someday, but I became an audience clapper. Yes, I was paid to clap, everybody. That's a real job. And, so I would sit through like TV shows being shot live, like when they would see, here we are filming in front of a live audience.
Quick list of the shows that you did as a clapper.
I can't even, I can.
The Wayne Brady Show?
Well, the Wayne Brady Show, yes. I mean, I have certain ones I did, but a lot of.
Greg Kilborn?
Yes.
The
pyramid.
The pyramid, the 10,000, 20,000.
Yeah. The one also where you were like
$50,000 pyramid.
In little boxes on top
Hollywood Squares?
Yeah.
What? Whoa, that's new to me. I didn't know that you were on Hollywood Squares.
Well, I was in the audience, yeah. And then lots of television shows that, to be perfectly honest, I don't remember the names of. A lot of them were pilots. One of them I think was called I'm With Her, where it was sort of based on like this actress who got together with like a guy who wasn't in the industry. And so it was sort of like what it's like to date someone famous, blah, blah. I think it was kind of around the Notting Hill time, like this idea we have of like normal people, like
with famous
people. What must that be like? But I will say this. So the experience completely changed my perspective on the industry. And I also had a similar appreciation where I was blown away at how hard working that industry is.
Long hours.
Holy cow.
Long
hours.
Yeah,
the hours are incredible. And yeah, just watching the actors and not just, I mean, every single person there is so vital. You realize that it's really, truly a team, like a sports team. Every single person working that down to just catering, everything. It's so important. And
can I brag for 1 second?
Yeah, please brag.
You, when you did a lot of these talk shows, you were sat up front. And they called, and if you see this, I used to notice this all the time, even on Judge Judy and shows like that. Then in the front row, there was like, why are all these attractive women in the front? Mm-hmm. And you informed me that that's called Babe Row.
Well, that's what it was
that's
called.
That's the official term, Babe Row.
Craig Kilborn show.
Craig Kilborn show called Babe Row.
I don't know if they still do that, and they might be horrified having that revealed now after. I feel like that would not fly now with, like, just today. But, it was interesting to literally be pulled out of a line, and they were like, yeah, we want to pick you 4 women to come sit literally in front of Craig Kilborn. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because you look good. It's like, Jesus, wow, weird. Okay.
You're a babe.
So they called it Babe Row. That's so embarrassing. God. But I did get to see Gloria, is it
Estefan
or Estefan?
Let's not get into it.
I know.
Let's move on.
She's lovely. And she sang, and it brought me to damn tears.
Like live to hear her?
She sang like just a few feet in front of me on the Craig Kilborn show live. Wow. Beautiful performance. It was like after she had been in this bus crash, and I think she sang the song that was like Coming Out of the Dark or something, and I was like sobbing. I mean, holy cow. Fucking magical. Anyway, so yeah, the people who work in that industry, and then I later also worked in the industry because I knitted for it. Made things, and again, we can talk about that
Laurel
later.
Canyon. Let's talk about my monumental, life-changing, super important experience. Oops. Anyway.
Anyway,
something happened.
Anyway,
I want to go back to Laurel Canyon.
Yes.
Because I think we could do a whole thing about your clapping, your jobs that you had in LA when you moved there first. Amazing.
Yeah.
But we're going to
memories.
November 2001.
Yeah.
I was in the movie Laurel Canyon. I was meant to be a band. The band, the Folk Implosion, the new Folk Implosion, was the band in the movie.
Yeah. And your producer, your real life producer?
Our producer played the engineer in the movie.
Ah.
Frances McDormand was the producer.
Right. Yes, she sure was.
But her engineer in the movie was Mickey Petralia, who was actually our producer at the time. We were recording with him. Mm-hmm. So we had actually moved. It was interesting because we were working in his pool house in Los Feliz, but then we kind of went and set up shop out in Pacific Palisades to film this movie in another pool house.
Fun. Gotta love a pool house.
I'd love to have a pool house.
Same.
Anyway, so the songs that we played in the movie were Sparkle Horse songs.
Yeah.
And you don't know? Do you know Sparkle Horse?
I don't know. I've heard the name Sparkle Horse, but I guess I can't say I know the music.
So we spent a lot of time playing these Sparkle Horse songs and actually recording them in the studio.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yep.
And Alessandro actually sings the...
He actually sang it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play one of the songs.
So this song was kind of like the song that's going to... If you've seen Laurel Canyon, it's the ballad that's going to save them.
Save the album that they're working on.
Save the album because they're looking for inspiration.
They're looking for a hit.
They need a hit.
Yeah. Yep. And then they finally... Alessandro writes this song. Although it's originally written by Mark Linkous, who passed away in 2010.
Okay.
I found this song almost impossible to play. I was so nervous.
Oh.
So nervous. Even in this, because we went to this crazy studio in Hollywood to record this, too. We actually went, this was like A-list shit. We went to Sunset Sound, and in L.A. and like Stevie Nicks was like in the lobby, and
oh my god,
and we're like in this crazy studio where they've done all these amazing records, like, and I'm just trying desperately to get through this 2-chord song.
Oh,
I was so nervous even then.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm taking it back right now, though.
Yeah, that's right.
The song is called Shade and Honey. I could look in your face for 1,000 years. It's like a civil war of pain and of cheer. But if you was a horse, I could help you with your chains. I could ride you through the fields.
Wow. Sorry.
By your fiery mane.
I don't want to interrupt, but I do want to remind you that you've been speaking for a while. And also, I want to make sure
I was just doing the song.
that you, Lou, tell the story of Kate Beckinsale walking, quote-unquote, open-mouthed into one of your farts. That's right. Kate Beckinsale smelled one of your farts. That's your legacy. That's your A-list moment, friend. Enjoy.
That's the story you wanted me to tell.
I love that story so much, and you're going to still tell it. You want to keep playing the song?
Where do I pick up? Do I pick up from?
I'm going to try not to giggle because I don't want to insult
could I
the lyricist, but these lyrics are really funny.
I could ride you. Should I start
after? Ride you?
I could ride you. Here we go. I could ride you through the fields by your fiery mane.
Yeah. Okay.
Let your shade be sweet and float upon the lake where the sun will be made of honey. The sun made of honey.
Huh.
I cried diamonds while you burned.
Ouch.
'Cause no one here could save you. She's returning to the earth, but one day she'll be silver. Stars are dying in my chest until I see you again. She was born with the wings of a hawk, and she combs her hair with blood. May your shade be sweet and float upon the lake where the sun will be made of honey. May your shade be sweet and float upon the lake where the sun will be made of honey.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, dear, for recreating the ballad from Laurel Canyon. Laurel Canyon, everyone. The movie Lewis Knox Barlow was a principal actor in.
Can I tell you something embarrassing before I get on to the really embarrassing story?
Yeah.
While we were working on the movie, I was like, well, maybe I should like play the director some of my songs.
Aww.
So I went home and I made this an acoustic stuff of like my best songs at the time, I thought, and I gave it to her. And I handed her the CD and she said, "Do you know Elliott Smith?" And I did know Elliott Smith.
Yep, you did.
I did, and I actually managed to introduce her to Elliott Smith.
Oh, well.
Yep, and we got Elliott Smith came to the rap party.
Oh.
Okay. Lots of stories there that I'm not going to go into, but
the rap party.
the wrap party, Elliot, Russ Pollard was hanging out quite a bit with Elliot at the time. So there was that going on too. But anyway, we played 2 Sparkle Horse songs, and I found them very difficult to play.
Yeah. They're very different than your style.
Yeah. And also, I think the songs, the appeal of the songs in their recorded form and their original Sparkle Horse form really rely heavily, or they really depend on the delivery of Mark Linkous, the singer. And he has this his approach is very interesting and kind of ironic a little bit. But when sang in sort of a earnest way by a band, a made-up band in a movie with an English singer, it didn't come off quite as well. So
yeah, I did giggle a little bit during some of those scenes.
You gasp. Gasp. You're like, what is this? But
oh my gosh, I want to say this though, the movie was real fun to watch. So for $3.99, if you haven't seen it, you should do it. It's a good time. I mean, yeah. Listen.
I mean,
it's not going to win. It's.
If it wasn't like 3 major A-list actors in that movie who did. I mean, and Francis, and I'll tell you, I did a table reading. After my table reading, sat around a table with all the actors and stuff, and Frances McDormand she used the script as kind of like suggestions. Oh, she really kind of like
So she improv'd?
She improv'd quite a bit.
Oh.
And really brought the scenes to life when she was doing them too. Like she really kind of worked off script.
Because she's so smart. I mean, she kind of knew what needed to be done to carry that movie. I mean, her and Christian Bale and Kate Beckinsale, let's just say that you guys, they put in the work, okay? And they did everything they could. They did everything they could.
Meanwhile, I was on the set.
You sure were. Oh, God, you looked so cute. Fripp.
They used hair product on me to tame my curls, which was fine with me because I was at war with my curls back then in 2001. But I got this great clothes from wardrobe. I got jeans that actually fit me. They
so cute.
But I was nervous every day.
Aww.
And when I get nervous, my tummy gets a little rumbly.
Oh. So this is your transition?
Yeah, this is as my friend, so he set me up for this. I can't get away with not telling this story.
It's really...
And you love this story.
Fart stories are so good, you guys.
This is a real good one. So,
this one's good.
I was farting on set, and it sucked because there's a lot of people. And we were, like I said, we were recording in this pool house, small. So the studio itself was very small. It was just a couch, and then there's probably like 25 people crammed around us while we're on the couch in the studio.
Oh, God.
And I farted. I didn't mean to. I didn't want to.
Were you aware the fart was coming? Were you like,
I was in so much pain.
God.
I'll tell you this. I was in pain.
Oh.
Because this is a long time ago. This is before I figured out my diet. I'm in my 30s, my early 30s. I'm still sorting through my intake. Let's say, I wasn't living that healthy. I was probably drinking a lot, mixing a lot of alcohol at night. And then eating poorly. So there was a burning in my gut. And I didn't fart I didn't do that.
It was silent?
It was totally one of those silent but deadlies, but when it creeped out of my sphincter, it was hot.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh no. And then as it sort of started to envelop me in the surroundings, Kate Beckinsale. Mm-hmm. She walked into the room and she went, ah. She like opened her mouth and she's like, yeah, like she could taste it. Like, ah. Oh, and then, I'm a terrible English accent.
Oh,
I mean, believe me, this is why you hear so little of me speaking in the film, because my accent was so terrible. But she was like, I just walked open-mouthed into a fart. Just like, yeah. She was
oh my God.
She was kind of like, she was actually a pretty raw personality on the set. She was pretty much, she was down to like talk shit with the guys and flirt with Russ and whatever. But she walked by her own admission, or by her own description, she walked open mouthed and into one of my silent but deadly nervous, deep nerve farts.
Or did you take ownership of the fart, or did you just sit there mortified? Was Ahmad and Russ there? Were they sitting in your fart as well? It was Frances?
They were probably used to it at that point.
Oh, no.
Frances was not there.
Oh, thank God.
That would have been funny. She probably would have made a really funny face and looked right at me. She would have known. She would have known right away, like, oh.
Oh, my God. Kate Beckinsale's ate one of your farts. Those beautiful lips. That sweet smile. Oh, man. Damn. Well, on that note, we'll wrap it up. I mean, I don't know. What else should we say? I mean, I almost feel like I love you even more now after experiencing you, seeing you like have to do this torturous role, this little role.
Oh, can I want to mention one more thing.
My
about
heart just is expanded.
The first scene that I was in, I was meant to be taking a bong hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I had a bong, and but what I smoked was catnip.
Ew.
Because catnip is movie pot.
Oh.
And we did the scene many, many times, and I was like, because I didn't have to speak, I was like, I'm going to do the best fucking bong hit for this movie. This is it. This is my moment. This is my moment. So I did dozens and dozens of full-on, full-lung catnip bong hits.
Oh, what does that do to you?
It made me feel bad.
Yeah. I feel like there would be some effect from that.
Yeah, I was like, am I high? I was like, I kind of wanted to be. I desperately wanted to be altered in some way on that set in order to counteract my nervous energy.
Oh, and you liked filming the big party scene at the Chateau Marmont.
Oh, yeah. This is the last part that I want to talk about.
The famous chateau.
Yeah, we went to the Chateau Marmont for the final scene, and it was a party scene, and Mark Linkous from Sparkle Horse was there.
Oh, cool.
I believe he was in a wheelchair at the time. And Daniel Lanois, the famous producer. Do you know who he is? Daniel Lanois.
I mean, I've heard of him.
He's from Montreal. He produced like records for Emmylou Harris, probably Willie Nelson, Neil Young. I mean, he kind of came, he had this big renaissance as a producer when he started making these new cool sounding records for Bob Dylan. He made Time Out of Mind for Bob Dylan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he lived right on the lake in Silver Lake.
Oh.
Apparently.
Oh.
But Daniel Lanois was there at the party, and he was psyched. He was
I think I knew that. I think I actually knew his house because I think James pointed it out out to me.
I bet he did.
He knew him.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
James
Sorry,
Trissard.
Another one of my former jobs.
Adele worked for a pretty famous guitar maker.
I did.
But,
for another day.
Yeah, so Daniel Lanois was there, and he was like into it. And they put him all over the party scene. There's at least 2 or 3 shots of him. But yeah, he was picking up the guitar and playing. And
sorry, but to finish, you got to actually have like a little drink or something while you were filming that. So you were like, this is fun.
Yeah, Frances McDormand had a room at the chateau.
Frances.
So before the filming started, we were in his room, and she gave me some whiskey.
Yeah, Frances.
We listened to Tom Waits, and she gave me some whiskey, which really made me feel so much better. I'm like, man, if I could have just had a couple of shots while filming this movie, I would have been great.
Loose.
I would have been loose.
Loosey
Not super loose. I think I would have, measured it really well and not gotten completely hammered in the course of the filming.
I love Laurel Canyon now. I love it even more. I love Frances for taking care of you.
She did.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frances McDormand.
Aww.
All right, everyone, this is the end.
This is the end. We're done blabbing.
Done blabbing about this movie.
Go rent it. Or don't. Whatever. And have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Hey. What are you doing? Thank you for joining Lou and Adelle on this very, very, very special, long edition of Raw Impressions. How raw is a fart? That's about as raw. Well, it gets rawer, but that was pretty raw. The whole story about the fart.